Scott with the Scottman. I just realized I forgot to turn on my microphone again. I keep doing that for a lot of these driving videos, but not a big deal. I'll go ahead and turn it on now. There we go. So we're here to do a driving video today. We are heading east on Auburn Road. That looks nasty. I'm getting over in the left lane. So we're heading east on Auburn Road today, but we're also going to be adding on Mound Road going south as well, because as we'll see over in the Utica area, this road makes a turn to the south and turns into Mound Road going south toward Warren and Detroit. So I figure I might as well do that today. Make this a little bit of a longer video because Auburn Road is not a super long video. I think it'll only be like 20 minutes. But I figure go ahead and add on a little bit of an extra add-on today. So this is technically a continuation of Merriman Road and Orchard Lake Road, because if you watch that video that starts off over by Detroit Metro Airport, goes all the way up through Wayne County, then it turns into Orchard Lake Road, going through Oakland County, and then it ends up over at Woodward in Pontiac. And then at Woodward Avenue, this turns into Auburn Road. Nobody's in this lane right now. Oh, I think it's because I think that's a left turn lane. So I had to get over anyway. The lanes weren't marked very well, but that's all right. So Auburn Road, where Orchard Lake Road turns to Auburn Road, we're in Pontiac right now. We're in the eastern end of Pontiac. So Auburn Road runs parallel with M59. This is like not even a mile to the north of here. They have been wanting to film this one for a while. Just haven't had a chance to do this until, well, today. But yeah, it's pretty nice out today. It's pretty sunny. Very few clouds in the sky, and the car thermometer is reading 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Convert that to Celsius is around 25. So for early August, this is pretty nice. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of wildfire smoke coming down from Manitoba and Saskatchewan up in Canada, but it's not too bad though. It's not like how things were 2 years ago where it looked like it was the end of the world out there, where it was visibility like less than a mile, looked like it's like where everything was like brown. Yep, and here is Updike Road, and after we cross this light, we enter Auburn Hills. So Updike Road is pretty much the dividing line between Pontiac and Auburn Hills. And over here, our Auburn Road is going over the Clinton River, which goes through downtown Pontiac, by the way. However, it goes through like an underground tunnel through the city. So it's like you never get to see the river inside or within downtown Pontiac or anything. And right here, this is I-75. So Auburn Road does not have a direct connection with I-75. You have to pretty much either go down Updike Road to Square Lake Road, you can get over to the freeway that way, or head north on Updike Road, you can get on to M59, which has an interchange with I-75. So over here you got different office buildings, and even some homes on the left side. And coming up ahead, we're starting to get into the like a downtown area for Auburn Hills. But yeah, they've added a lot of development in the little downtown Auburn Hills area, which makes it really nice. Which I don't get a chance to go through here very much, but yeah, it's a little downtown area. It's like even for a Sunday, there's a lot of activity going on in here. And off to the left, there is a little park called Riverside Park, which is really nice. It's right along the Clinton River, which we just went back across, or went back over as well, too. Then this is Squirrel Road. Make a left turn there, take up to M59 and continue north, heads up toward Oakland University. And get some different shops and restaurants along in here, and even some new, I think there is some new development even going on the right there, too. And this is another part of Squirrel Road you can take, too, to make a left. But they added a little connector between the two parts. So that's the downtown area. And right here, this is the Clinton River Trail. They got different crosswalks for it, but off to the left there, that's where the trail makes its way over to the northeast over toward Rochester. And then it continues its way into Macomb County, and the trail eventually heads all the way over to Richmond, Michigan. And yeah, it looks like we gotta stop at this light because I think it just turned red not too long ago. So this is Adams Road here. So if you make a right turn on Adams Road, you can head south about another mile and a half or so. You get down to I-75, make a left, you'll head up to M59. So as I was saying, yeah, you go north on Adams Road, take it over to M59. There's also a shopping area over there with like a Meijer, a Walmart, a bunch of other different restaurants. And then it continues north up into like the western part of Rochester Hills. Although technically, crossing over Adams Road here, we are now in Rochester Hills. So yeah, we weren't in Auburn Hills for very long. So we have a mix of residential areas, especially off to the right, and then yeah, to the left, looks like some office buildings. Yeah, Rochester Hills Corporate Center. And yeah, more stuff off to the left there. Yeah, like corporate offices and even some warehouses too. What is cool though is that the speed limit on Auburn Road over here, it's 50 miles per hour, so that's pretty fast for a city like Rochester Hills. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe before they built the M59 freeway, this was the original highway, or either the original M59 or at least an original highway, which the M59 freeway replaced. Because this was how people used to, before they built the M59 freeway, this is what people used to go from Pontiac to Utica. They even have an extra lane here, although it's going to turn to a right turn lane for Crooks Road up ahead. So this is Crooks Road, this is a video I filmed not too long ago. And we go just like half a mile to the north, you head over to the on-ramps for And then, yeah, Crooks Road heading south, that'll take you down into Troy. And then eventually ends up in Royal Oak. So as you can tell, we're heading east on an east-west road. This is not something I do very often. Oh yeah, just also pass a mosque on the left side there. But because Orchard Lake Road heads north and eventually east, and I wanted to do a continuation, so that's why we're going east on this road instead of west. And chances are, whenever the time comes I decide to do Orchard Lake Road and Merriman Road going south, I can go west on Auburn Road. Avondale Meadows, by that school back there. And here's the light for Livernois Road. Which, yeah, that road, yeah, Livernois does not have a direct connection with I-70, or sorry, with M59. Okay, so yeah, that's so I know I passed. I think it was a mosque back there, but that's a really big one there. So definitely one of the larger mosques in the Metro Detroit area. With, of course, the largest one being on Ford Road near Evergreen Road over in Dearborn. And back there, we just crossed over M59, so we're now on the north side of M59. And there's a really nice church off to the right there. Can't even tell what it is. The sign was like tiny. Oh, we got a little bit. Oh, someone's making a left turn. And up here, this is a very busy intersection. This is Rochester Road. There's also M150, but nobody, I don't think, even calls it that. But here we got a lot of shopping in this general area. And I am surprised I am making this traffic light right now. Although we almost didn't. Because there's a mire off to the right. There's also a culvert. So I gotta be careful here because you never know. Someone might try to sneak their way out of the left there to get on this road. But it's a lot of different department stores way off to the left. There's even a Kohl's over there. Yeah, all kinds of activity over here. But yeah, Rochester Road is a very busy road. Even on a Sunday, it can get very crowded. Because it heads south down toward Troy, just like Crooks Road and Livernois do. But going north, that'll take you into downtown Rochester, about like 2.5 to 3 miles from here. As a matter of fact, I think this video will be going up after the fact, but I did film a walking tour around Rochester. Or downtown Rochester. But yeah, not to be confused with Rochester Hills. So there's two Rochesters here in Michigan. So you have Rochester Hills, which is the larger city, what we're in right now. And then you have the city of Rochester, which is just about completely surrounded by Rochester Hills. And here is John R. And it just made that light. It's like, yeah, the speed limit's going down a little bit. It's like we got a little bit of a mini business district coming up here. So it's like another little business district, but nothing compared to the city of Rochester. You got Ruther Middle School off to the right. So this is Brooklands. So it's an unincorporated community within Rochester Hills. Oh, a nice little spray station park off to the left there. Yeah, it's nice to have this little median here with trees and bushes growing, and even some flowers. Makes it really nice. Oh, public house restaurant. Yeah, they have like different roundabouts in here. Definitely helps keep traffic going a little bit more slowly, especially for people coming out of these neighborhoods on both sides. Even some new development going on to the right. Yeah, I like how the center of the roundabout has some vegetation growing there. All right, so we're out of Brooklands. Let me say it like that so I don't confuse it like with Brooklyn over in New York. And we are crossing over to Quinder Road, and we are now entering Macomb County. And we are now in Shelby Township. I've got a Dollar Tree, a Planet Fitness, a Jet's Pizza. Very big building for a Jet's Pizza, I have to say. And yeah, I think a long time ago off to the left, like, obviously you see like, it looks like apartments over there. But there used to be a water park called Four Bears Water Park. I never went to it as a kid, but it used to be off to the left there and in this whole general area, but it closed down a long time ago. It got replaced by everything on the left. Oh, and then yeah, little fun fact, down the Vineyard Avenue to the right, every like December, there is a house that basically syncs up their house with their Christmas lights to music. It's really cool seeing stuff like that. So yeah, they put on a really cool show there, like around the holidays. And here is Ryan Road. Probably won't be stopped for too long. Okay, crossing over Ryan Road. And, ooh, this is nice. Brand new pavement. So I'm glad I waited till now to film this video. Otherwise, there might have been a little bit of trouble when it comes to road construction. So I got some residential neighborhoods on both sides of the road here. So yeah, I forgot to mention, but Auburn Road over here, as well as over like in Rochester Hills and Auburn Hills, it's kind of like a 21-mile road. And then there is a 21-mile road that picks up over on the other side of Shelby Road. And then continues its way over to Jefferson Avenue over in like Chesterfield Township. So Auburn Road now starts to turn more to the southeast because it's making its way to Utica. There's technically gonna be a small stretch of Auburn Road we are not gonna be covering. Which I think I covered that in when I did a driving tour of Utica and Shelby Township. So right here, this becomes like a divided highway, and this is where Auburn Road is turning into Mound Road. However, there is a small continuation of Auburn Road off to the left there. You just make a turnaround there, then you make a right turn, continue on Auburn Road, and then it ends up over by M59 and Hall Road, and then you make a left turn, and then you go right into downtown Utica. So I'm not going to really worry about that part there. But anyway, so now this is Mound Road. There's also another stretch of Mound Road that's north of 22 Mile Road, near 23 Mile Road. That goes all the way up to 32 Mile Road, which that I probably won't cover just because it's not all that long of a stretch. I'll go ahead and get all the way over here. So now we're going to be filming Mound Road going south down to, I think, McNichols or 6 Mile. All right, so we're crossing over M59 right here. So this is the freeway, so we're going back across it again. And yeah, this is going to be a nice treat because, yeah, they've done a big resurfacing project on Mound Road, so we're getting to see the final product. So on the right, we pass by a Walmart, there's also a Dunkin' over there. I almost do need to check my northbound Mound Road video to see how old it is, to see if I would want to consider doing a new one. There are a lot of older driving videos I do need to update just because a lot of changes have happened, and of course the quality may not have been as good back then. Actually, I'm going to stay over here. So up here is 19 Mile. Yeah, that vehicle driving that U-Haul has been driving like a maniac. The reason why I say that is because he's been swerving all over the lanes like if he's Mario Andretti or something. And back at the light for M59 and Dobry Drive, it's like he was trying to stop at the light. He was trying to burning a lot of smoke from his tires or something like that, to where thankfully I was beside him and not behind him. Otherwise I would have been really ticked off. Because there was so much smoke coming out of that vehicle. It's like, are you crazy? Yeah, right now on Mound Road, it's like they're not timing the lights very well. Although we'll see if it's a little different because back there that was 18.5 Mile Road. It's a connector road which takes you over to Van Dyke and also the beginning of the M53 freeway. Although the timing's just right for 18 Mile Road. But yeah, it's so nice with this brand new concrete. Makes driving on this so much easier. I will say though, it's nice that that one vehicle is no longer on this road. It was going a different direction. And you got an automotive plant for Ford off to the left. It's like at Mound Road, like along Mound Road and even Van Dyke to the east of here, 1 mile from here, there are a lot of different automotive plants. I think for all the big three. Because Ford was back there. I know there was one for GM, and I think also one for Chrysler / Stellantis. Here is 17 Mile Road. going to get back over in the left center lane here. So yeah, different restaurants and businesses on the right side, and on the left side you got like more like warehouses, corporate offices, and plants. And now here is the light for Metro Parkway. And unfortunately we're having to stop at this one, but thankfully we're getting a little lucky. We're not having to stop at every Mound Road. Yeah, this light lasted a long time, even though this had been red for a while already as I was approaching it. Metro Parkway is a very busy highway because it heads east over toward where Freedom Hill is. It's the amphitheater there is called something else, but I always just call it Freedom Hill. I think many people still call it that too. And then it heads further east toward Lake St. Clair Metro Park. And then Metro Parkway going west heads out toward Troy over toward the Somerset Collection. Mound Road is a very nice highway which you can take to get through like the western part of Macomb County, get down to the 696 freeway. That's kind of why they have 18.5 mile road, because they have a roundabout over at the intersection with Van Dyke, because it serves as a connector over to the freeway over there, and then you can use 18.5 mile road, get over to Mound Road, and take this down to 696, because as we'll see in about 4.5 miles from now, we got a nice interchange. And I had this feeling I just jinxed myself back there because now we're having to stop at this Mound Road. Or not. Maybe by saying I jinxed myself, undid the jinx. So here is 15 Mile Road. We even have like a Hardee's and a Burger King here. People going really slow there. Oh yeah, I think the Stellantis plant was back up at 18 Mile Road, which I didn't point that out. Or maybe there's another one. It's like I can't remember everything. It's like I don't work in the automotive field, so I'm not really too sure. I do know we'll be coming to where GM is in about another couple miles. And here we are approaching the intersection for 14 Mile Road. And as we cross over 14 Mile Road, we are now entering Warren. So we got some residential neighborhoods on both sides, and of course some small businesses immediately along the road. Got a pet supply store to the left of Canine Specialties. And then this is Chicago Road here, which it's almost like a 13.5 mile road, I would say, even though it kind of winds around a little bit. Ooh, it just turned green. This is my lucky day. So here's the light for 13 Mile Road. Oh, there's a Green Lantern Pizza off to the right. They got really good pizza. They're all around. They're a chain around Metro Detroit. The original location is at 12 Mile and John R. over in Madison Heights, where it's also a dine-in restaurant. But they got several locations all around Metro Detroit. which are for like takeout only. So it's a great place to go for like the Detroit style deep dish pizza, and even your traditional round pizza as well. It's not my favorite of the Detroit deep dish places, but it's still really good though. So off to the left, that is where GM is, although it's like the main entrance for it is over on Van Dyke. But they got a very large complex over here. Now there's a Meijer off to the right. That's a really fancy car wash over there. Buffalo Wild Wings. Can't see a lot of things to the right. Oh, there's a Chili's, McDonald's, Beyond Juice and Eatery, Tim Hortons. So that was 12 Mile back there. So we got an interesting configuration up ahead because we're approaching the interchange for 696. So what happens here is that the left two lanes, what we're doing is the continuation of Mound Road. This is at like an 11.5 mile road, like Martin Road here. So that exit over to the far right, that is for 11 miles. So there is no direct intersection with 11 mile. You have to take that exit and then you can get to 11 mile. And then the right two lanes there will take you onto the interchange for 696 to go either east toward I-94, or you can head west on 696 to head out toward like Royal Oak where the Detroit Zoo is, or further west, eventually out to I-96 to head west toward like Lansing and Grand Rapids. But yeah, it is really nice that they have this big interchange for 696. Yeah, I needed some water there. But yeah, I would say once you get south of 696, Mound Road is not as busy. Because a lot of people use Mound Road from 696 to like 18.5 mile road or even M59 as a connector to get over to like Van Dyke and the M53 freeway. In fact, I could probably get over to this lane. Oh, it just turned green. So we'll keep this video going. Which might be good so I'm not turning this camera on and off so that way it doesn't overheat or anything because it's directly in the sun right now. And here is 10 Mile Road. And they're doing a lot of construction on that right now. Oh wow. I am so glad I filmed eastbound 10 Mile when I did, because I would not have been able to do that right now if I were planning that. Huh. Gigantic gorilla. He's saying now open. And yeah, it looks like once you get south of 10 Mile, the pavement is not so good. But at least the main reconstruction project that's north of 696 all up to M59, it's really nice now. So, because they were working on that for years. But yeah, I'd be curious if they'll work on this next, because this road definitely needs it. Okay, yeah, I see the plan up ahead for Chrysler / Stellantis. I can go ahead and get over. So it's over here at the intersection with 9 Mile. So it's on the other side. Yep. So you got the plan for Chrysler there. So as I was saying, you see the big three along Mound Road. Yeah, that is one huge plant for Chrysler. Huh, Wally's Nashville Hot Chicken. Doesn't look like they're open either for the day. They could only, either they're closed for good or they're only open during the week when everybody's over at the plant over here. And now we are approaching the traffic light for 8 Mile, and yeah, this time we will have to stop here and probably stop at it for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get over the left lane. And crossing over 8 Mile, we are now entering the city of Detroit and also Wayne County. So because this is a combination of Auburn Road and Mound Road, it's like we've crossed over 2 county lines in this video. Going from Oakland to Macomb County and now Macomb to Wayne County. And yeah, I see like another plant off to the left. I didn't get a chance to see what it was for though. And here's Outer Drive, and unfortunately I'm not getting so lucky. Oh, and I gotta get over because this lane ends. So this is East Outer Drive, or Outer Drive East. And here's where Mound Road becomes a little bit more residential. Because we don't really see much in the way of like automotive plants or anything like that anymore. Yeah, kind of interesting how this is 3 lanes, although there aren't really any lane markers up for the rightmost lane. And we were crossing over 7 Mile Road, and that was a little bit of a bump there. For some reason, I remember this road being a little more bumpy than this, but maybe they resurfaced this since the last time I did this, when I did like the northbound video. So I can't remember how long ago that one was. So now we have to stop here at Nevada Street. Got a jail center off to the right there, part of the Detroit Police Department. And over here, this is Davison Street. So if you turn right on the Davison, once you get over toward where I-75 is, it turns into the Davison Freeway. Looks like that road is closed at the moment. They're doing some stuff over there. And now Mound Road is going down to 2 lanes. So here is McNichols, or 6 Mile Road. All right, now it's getting a little bit more bumpy. Yeah, I think I need to stay over here. All right, we'll be here for a little bit. All right, so we only have like about another, I'd say like a mile left to go in this Mound Road video. Very large cemetery is off to the right there. Yeah, now this road's looking a lot more bumpy. Oh, you can even see the Detroit Renaissance Center way off in the distance and with all that haze. A little bumpy here at Charles Street. Okay, so we're approaching the end of Mound Road. So over here to the left, we got a little connector road which takes you over to Mount Elliott Street. Which Mount Elliott Street begins technically back up at 8 Mile. It runs parallel with Mound, but you can take this connector to the left over to Mount Elliott Street. And Mount Elliott Street continues south toward like I-94, and eventually down to Jefferson Avenue. And here is the very end of Mound Road over here at Caniff Street. So I hope you enjoyed this video of Auburn Road going east, as well as Mound Road going south in Metro Detroit. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out any future adventures. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott with the Scott Man signing out.